Hey guys, Professor Fat Shady back here again. Also received a number of comments over the last week or so since I started putting out these videos for people who want me to go through and talk about Inferno 4. Again, this is the type of track that you could, I could easily spend half an hour taking you through this track, and if anybody wants to come out to out Campbelltown Way in Sydney, you're welcome to. But for those who can't make it, I'm going to try and go through this quickly. This will just be, I guess, an introductory guide to Inferno 4. What I'd also expect is that if there's any subsequent questions or any particular obstacles you think I skimmed over a bit too quick, come back with some specifics and I'll take you through that as well. Pit Viper without question. I think I have completed it with the rabbit, but I may be wrong there. I think there might be some jumps that are insane. But anyway, let's have a look and see what happens. Alright, as far as this obstacle goes, I've very clearly found it's very tricky to do, but if you can just practice until you get this rear wheel bounce down, it's the right way to do it, I think, guys. It's unfortunate that it's that tricky. The good thing is it's the first obstacle, so effectively once you hit that, you can keep going with the track. With this one, I tend to find that what you want to do is lean forward over the handlebars. You want to do a very hard bunny hop where you also try and get that back wheel to land, and only really the back wheel to land on this panel. Try and catch your front wheel on the top of it and lean over, and you'll see in a second what I mean when I get it. Sorry, forward, back wheel, and then it's just about the angle you get, and then hold down the brake. So when your front wheel hits that beam, you actually want to make sure you're holding your brake down. If you don't hold the brake, you're likely to go over the front of that ledge, catch it between the front wheel and the engine, and you'll actually get stuck on that piece. So you actually need to hold the brake down as your front wheel balances, lean forward, and as your body weight starts transitioning over the top of the ramp, then let go of the brake and continue on your way. Now this one here, I'm very lucky that I got taken through this in the Red Lynx offices, because I don't think I would have figured out this technique by myself. Hopefully I'm not giving away too much, but if I am, bad luck. Maybe I won't name the guy who taught me about it, DJ Twitchy. So what you need to do on this one is start from a seated position, and you want to start accelerating at 100%. Now, what your instinct will tell you from just about every other Trials game is that as soon as you hit this uphill transition, you want to flick your body weight to 100% leaning forward. The problem with that, and the ramp has been designed specifically with that in mind, the idea will basically you'll stuff up and you will fail. So if I try to do that now, seated and then 100%, I can't get the angle right. What you actually need to do is start seated at the checkpoint, accelerate at 100%. As you get to about here, you actually want to lift a little bit. So you've got to be really gentle with the left analog stick, but you actually want to lift, like basically lean half of the way forward, and then as you get towards the top of the ramp, lean the rest of the way forward. It's really subtle, and it will take you a little while to get the technique, but you actually need to make a conscious decision to lean forward in 2 increments on your way up the ramp. It all happens very quickly, but if you nail it, you'll notice it, because you'll get over it in a lot easier. Oh, sorry, I stuffed up on that thing. Watch the bombs. They will get you. But yeah, it's 1, 2. And then over. Yeah, and maybe you have to do a little bit of a balancing act up there. But that's the technique. I guarantee you do that and you'll nail that one very consistently. With this one, I tend to find myself starting from a seated position. You need to launch, because of how high the wheel is there, you need to launch yourself up. What you want to do is lean back on the left analog stick from a seated position, and as you get most of the way up the top of the ramp, then when you want to sort of perform a bunny hop off the top. And what you're trying to do is launch yourself as high as possible using basically using the maximum amount of ramp. Give you a huge acceleration and you'll make the gap as well. And then what you want to do is try and land with your rear wheel first and hop yourself over like I just did. With this one, you can try and do this in one smooth motion, but I would always suggest you try and hit the checkpoint as a halfway step. If you're watching this tutorial, you're probably not, you're not at the skill level yet to do anything better. So I would always make sure. Actually, I got caught up there because I was on that wheel spinning. So let me try it again. But what I'm saying is, as long as you hit that checkpoint on the other end, you should be sweet. So I always do a bunny hop there, and then brake hard, hit that checkpoint, roll backwards, so these spinning wheels will catch you out, bounce, and then just go forward until you hit that next checkpoint. You can hear the noises go off of that. For this obstacle, again, this is really tricky. I tend to find what happens if you're trying to go through this smoothly without many faults, you'll actually have a tendency to be already seated down on the bike like this. If you try and get the sufficient launch from the seated position to make the gap, you won't make it. I think that was done very intentionally. When you restart the check, I always have more success with this once I restarted a checkpoint, and the reason is your body weight is actually sort of like there, which gives you more spring. And I actually think you need to reset your body position back to that sort of central standing position before you attempt this. Then what you want to do is a bunny hop. I'm still figuring out a consistent way to get this because this is really tough, but effectively I land with the back wheel on the bottom barrel and then lean my body weight forward as I start making it up to those higher 3. So and then, yeah, and look, this will just be me, a bit of trial and error. And if you get yourself onto those barrels, just do what you can. And also, this is actually my first ever time with it. Actually, no, I won't say first ever time with PS4 controller, but I haven't done it much, so I'm still getting used to the sticks and everything that goes with it. Nope. Yeah, so I ain't doing zero fault on PS4 anytime soon. And the hard part here is you really need to get a good bunny hop. Not too much there. And I tend to find if you don't do this in one smooth motion, I'm sure there's a way you can kind of do it like that, but I can't. This is where the video gets very boring. God, I'm having so much trouble with this now. I need to go back and listen to my own advice. Or watch my own Zero Fault run on Xbox One. This is weird. Oh, actually, I should have powered on with that. As you're starting out, do whatever you can to get the checkpoint. I don't care if it's just your head going over the line. It's fine. Do right now for just a nice little bailout option. I just bail out, get the checkpoint, and keep the video going. Yeah, the subtext for this lesson will be Professor Fat Shady attempts to teach people about Inferno 4. Does it in 75 faults. I want to put this down to the PS4 controller, and it's not a bad controller, I'm just not used to it. I'm actually really enjoying the PS4. I think once the sort of HDMI protection issues are resolved, which I think is later this month, I'm hoping my ability to record from it will be easier. Oh gosh, this is so hard. And then when you nail it, you nail it. Okay, I wish I was editing these. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Alright, so now, this is one of the hardest jumps in the whole game. It was inspired by one of the earlier Inferno tracks, I believe, certainly from Trials 2, 2nd edition. It took me a long time. This is the reason why I had 270 faults the first time I attempted this. The way I've found to do this consistently is start, and you only kind of need to start from about here. You don't need to accelerate hard. You don't actually even need to use much of the ramp. You want to make sure you're leaning left and leaning back as you start accelerating, and what you want is just your back wheel to do, pretty much your back wheel does all the work. You don't need to do a jump onto this and try and lean forward. And this is the thing, right? Instinctively, from all your Trials experience, you're going to think that I need to sort of jump over that ledge, because you're going to think that that ledge will sort of take your back wheel off the ground, which is a bad thing. In this case, it's not. You're going to also think you need to be leaning forward down here, because it's an uphill slope, and then you're going to try and, you know, go over like that. This obstacle, very well designed obstacle, has been designed for it to be completely counterintuitive. What you actually need to be doing is leaning back from the start here, and I'll show you, I'll do it quickly first. That was a rough attempt, but that's how you want to do it. Now, I did that pretty easily and relatively consistently, considering how bad I did those barrels. All it is, leaning back here, lift your front wheel up, and spring jump from about halfway up the ramp. And then it's really 3 parts, right? So the first part here is leaning backwards as you hit it, lean forward as you're halfway up the ramp, but then at the time where your rear wheel starts to come up in contact with the top part of those barrels, you want to flick back to the left to lift your rear wheel out of the way. So unfortunately I can't do this in slow motion for you guys with the way I'm sort of recording these, but doing it again, you're up and over. It honestly couldn't be much simpler. Actually I won't do that too quick. But anyway, it's a tough obstacle, practice it, but hopefully with that technique it'll make it a bit easier for you. I find with this one here, and again, these obstacles are designed for them to be tricky if you kind of take the common sense approach. You've got to look for ways to make them easier for you and make them more consistent. What I would suggest you do with this one, and what I tend to do, is make sure my back wheel is actually up on this barrel. It just gives you that little bit of extra spring and a little bit of extra run up before you try and attempt this, and it's just a bunny hop from a seated position. Now again, new controller, and just try and use the back wheel as best you can to get over. This one is very tough, and I'm still struggling to find a really consistent way to nail this. What I tend to do is go about 50%, 60-70% throttle to get me over onto the obstacle. I start leaning forward like this so my front wheel doesn't lift up, but as I hit the ramp, I actually want to be leaning back a little bit and have my rear wheel come in contact with the ramp very early. And then it's just a gentle accelerate. But yeah, if you ram your front wheel into it, ram your front wheel into these obstacles and you're going to go nowhere. And then what you want to be doing is holding down brake, similar to the other obstacle. Get your front wheel up here and hold brake. And as long as you get enough momentum and you're holding brake, you should find yourself, hopefully in a couple of attempts, find yourself up here, and it's just a simple ride down to the bottom. The next obstacle, again, I actually find this relatively easy once you figure out the technique. From a seated position, you want to accelerate at 100%. As you're in the air, transition to leaning forward, so press hard to the right, but you only want to accelerate. So on your way up the ramp, if you try and accelerate all the way to the top of the ramp, like so the second ramp, so the bottom one, you stay seated the entire time. As you make that transition over the explosive barrel, or the dynamite there, you want to press hard to the right, but you only want to accelerate for probably about 30% of the ramp. If you try and accelerate the whole way up the ramp, you'll find yourself doing a backflip. I'll try and do one here, right? So if I accelerate the whole way up the ramp, look at that. I get nowhere near it, and that's what people will do. Again, this is about challenging your instincts. Instinctively you think you need to lean forward and accelerate the whole way. You don't. You need to slow down and let your forward momentum carry you over the ledge, as opposed to your acceleration carry over the ledge. So I start pretty close to the ramp here, 100% accelerate, lean forward, and then stop accelerating, and then again hold onto the brake and lean forward, and use that technique of landing on your front wheel to get over it. This is pretty straightforward when I'm not an idiot, and that's just the bunny hop. This one again is tough. It's all about that transition. So that moment where you go from a seated position accelerating to leaning forward. You see how my back wheel just lifted up there? That will kill any attempt on this ramp. If your back wheel loses contact at any point up this ramp, you probably aren't going to be successful. So it's just about timing. Just practice, but try and get the timing as well as you can. You don't want to do a bunny hop, actually. I think I stuffed up that I was talking here. You don't want to do a bunny hop. What you do want to do is get your rear wheel to land first and try and keep your body weight leaning forward and up and over the wheel, but it's about throttle control when you land up there too. But yeah, don't attempt a bunny hop because you don't need it, but you do need to concentrate on how you land and how you recover from that landing. So, best transition you can get, rear wheel down, and you're over. Next checkpoint. For this one, it's possible to do in one movement. I tend to find it easier in two. Again, I'm all about teaching people consistency rather than teaching them the fastest way to zero fault a track. I don't think there's value in that. If you know how to zero fault a track, you don't need me. So what I want to suggest here is you break it down. You want to hit brake, get your body weight over the wheel, and then perform a bunny hop. Now I did that poorly because I kind of paused. But yeah, the idea behind it is to get yourself up here, brake, and by braking it allows you to sort of recover, get your body into the right position, and that should allow you then to perform a bunny hop because that ledge is lower than the finish line. So you actually do need to do a bunny hop and actually get some decent clearance. And yeah, it's tricky, but it's possible. So there you go. Zach Savage, sorry I beat you, dude. Not intentional. But yeah, so there you go. Hopefully you found that a little bit helpful. If there's anything I missed or skipped over, please hit me up in the comments and I'll happily have another go. Thanks, guys.